Hello, I'm Brian Wilkes. We've been looking at the Native American new moon fasting practice, as followed by many in the southeastern nations. This is part 3. Parts 1 and 2 deal with the cultural, spiritual, and scientific bases. This third part will be my personal experiences, so if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2 yet, I suggest you do that now. Now, as I always tell you, I'm not a medical doctor or any other kind of licensed healthcare professional, so fasting might not be right for you, especially if you're a diabetic, hypoglycemic, if you're pregnant, lactating, or have any number of other conditions, so please check with your own doctor before attempting a fast, and do not discontinue prescription medications. The practice itself is very simple. At sunset on the day of the new moon, we stop eating. This may be because the Cherokee Day begins at sunset, so that's tradition, but we can use any start point we want. Prior to that start point, I always cut back on carbs and load up on proteins and fats. That helps me with the hunger. But to be honest, in 4 days I experience not hunger, but culinary boredom. What I've learned in 4-day and 5-day fasts is that I'm physically stronger, but mentally weaker than I realized. One of my martial arts instructors had a diagnostic screening method. He would have the student assume a wide horse riding stance and give the instruction to hold the position as long as physically possible. After about 5 or 10 or even 20 minutes, a student would inevitably break the stance and stand up and be promptly advised of their failure. See, the length of time didn't matter. He would then say, when the body fails, you fall down. When the will fails, you stand up. As embarrassing as it was, we were forced to admit that we had stood up because we were afraid of the pain, afraid of injury, perhaps even afraid of falling on soft ground. It was not a test of how strong our legs were, or even of our endurance, but of the strength of will we possessed. Very often in a fight, the winner isn't the one who can dish out the most punishment, but the one who can take the most punishment and keep going. Pain and the possibility of injury becomes your silent partner in training. I've learned that, like most modern Americans, I eat way more than I actually need physically. I eat to satisfy emotional need. I grew up with a mother who cooked Italian, a father who cooked Southern and Cajun Creole. They even had a restaurant, so I grew up with the attitude that good food equals love. Now, when I stop eating, the message begins to build that nobody loves me anymore, and I don't even love myself. Have I been emotionally abandoned? Boy, if I could just find that Wendy woman, she'd share some love with me because she says she's got something hot and juicy waiting for me. So I also become more aware of the manipulation in food advertising. That's also when I begin to see all the food advertising, really see it, especially around mealtime. Also, I begin to realize how much of my day is devoted to food preparation and consumption. Hey, I can't start a work project now. It's only 30 minutes till mealtime. And then, well, it's mealtime, preparing and eating. And then it's kitchen cleanup time. Then it's, well, don't exert yourself on a full stomach time. So there's an hour to 90 minutes 3 times a day. And that's not even counting food shopping time. Hey, it's still better than our ancestors, but a major time commitment nonetheless. If time is money, you need to put yourself on a diet, both of food and time. So what do I do with that free time? Well, one way I distract myself is by cleaning and organizing the kitchen. This reminds me that food still exists. There's not really a famine underway. It's going to be waiting for me when my fast ends. One of my native elders cautioned me against fasting out of economic need. Let's say I'm out of work during this shutdown like so many other people. Why don't I just fast? Not consume my family's valuable food supply. He explained the problem with that thinking is that people who are a little too smart for their own good will subconsciously extrapolate to, oh, this could go on forever. I don't know when my next paycheck will come, so this may never end, and then I'll just die. Well, that's why the tradition is to enjoy good, rich food just before the fast begins and after the fast ends. Think of the Lenten fast preceded by Mardi Gras and followed by Easter dinner. I also begin to realize I'm not so much hungry as my palate and tummy are bored. I begin to realize how much of my daily sensory gratification comes from the smell, the texture, the flavor of food and drink. And since I also avoid sugars during a fast, I consume usually only filtered water or club soda or unsweetened coffee or tea, my sense of taste begins to change. Did you know that filtered water begins to taste sweet when you don't drink sugar? Well, one physical change is weight loss. In a 4-day fast, I lose anywhere upwards of 12 pounds. The first few pounds, of course, that's the food in my digestive tract. But after the 3rd day, that's all gone, so I'm definitely burning off fat. During a fast, I drink water as often as I think of it to prevent dehydration. So I can't say I've been losing water weight. Nope, I clean out those pipes and then I burn the oil lamps. Usually on day 4, I hit euphoria. In the Native American church, I've participated in both the peyote and ayahuasca ceremonies, and the doors of perception open in a similar way with fasting, but a little more gradually. It's like I've lain my burdens down and literally flushed them away. This euphoria is not an illusion. It's caused by chemical changes in the body, secretions from the liver and from the brain, and this is linked to the sharpening of my senses. I think this is in part instinctive. My hunting skills are being ramped up so I can go out and find some food, since I haven't been doing well with that for a few days. When you fast, you suddenly have a lot more time to reflect on your own deeper motivations. So it's sort of a laxative for emotional blockage. I begin to realize that my relationship with food has its roots in my relationship with my late parents and with their experiences in the Great Depression. Whether or not they realized it, they were fattening me up to endure the next round of depression and famine. Unfortunately, this enables obesity, or as they call it in Europe, the American disease, which aggravates my spinal deformities, my joint deterioration, my heart conditions and hypertension, also makes me more susceptible to Crown Victoria. And because of search engines and social media algorithms and now censoring and deleting certain words, when I speak of a Ford Crown Victoria Deluxe, I really mean. So please remember to subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, and ring that notification bell. See you next time.